when he started lagging out. No, Tank left the game. Does this mean we have to remake again? Hang on, give us a sec, guys. We just had 2 people lag out again. I don't know what's going on with Battle.net, but I think there's still another... No regame. Okay. We're just gonna play it out?
Or take.
Alright, well, whatever the case is, guys, we're here. We're ready to stay. It's the last possible match between these two. This one single game determines who goes on to fight against Polt in the grand finals. May the best Zerg player win. Spawning in the top left corner of the map, he secured a 2-1 lead early on, but now stuck tied up. It is the blue Zerg player, Armani, from Samsung Galaxy.
The bottom right, as the red Zerg, it is Targa.
Alright, so we got red versus blue this time. I hope everyone's a little bit more happy with this. Again, we can't influence the colors in the slightest, but I've heard your complaints, so we voiced our opinions, and they were happy to change it, which is pretty cool, pretty rad that the players are willing to do that. Some players, of course, very stuck in the colors and refuse to play anything else, but luckily those players, by the way, are like the ones that are green and orange most of the time.
Yeah.
BCQD comes to mind, MMA as well. Anyways, middle of the map, we got the Overlord's Kith a little bit, but we don't have really pools, Zombie Grub.
Well, I mean, okay, so Targa did it twice, and Armani kind of like revenge did it. So.
I like that. Revenge pool, because that's the new way to I guess metagame your opponent. I think the thing is though, we're looking at a way Targa's opened a lot of these games, guys, and you might get the misimpression like that he can only do cheese, he can only do all-ins, he can only do Zergling, so with nothing else he can't succeed because he lost the Roach game. But it's worth noting, Targa does have a pretty solid macro game behind this, and quite frankly, in ZVZ, the strength of your early game really influences the rest of the game. Like, if you're going to play passive, fine, whatever. Players are both going to macro up, no rush 20 minutes, quote-unquote, whatever. But if you've got the strength to do Zerglings, your opponent has to be good enough to hold that off in order to even get a chance to play you in the macro game. So, again, Targa's early game strength really what leads him towards having the better mid-game, I guess you could phrase it.
Interestingly enough, they both went for a hatch first into pool, so, I mean, both have been so aggressive, or I guess Targa's been more aggressive, but still, last game, I think they'd be a little more cautious.
Well, it's interesting, too, because we did see, like, every time we see Targa to ZVZ, it's going to the ace match. I mean, Violet versus Targa was 3-2. When we had Snoot in that best of 7, that went to game 7. Here, we got the best of 5 going to game 5. Targa's the guy who can make it to the ace match a lot of the time. But then at that point, it's kind of like, can he pull through fully and entirely? And on a map like King Sejong Station, my big curiosity remains like, what tech path does he take? This is one of the few maps I would say Mutalisks can be good for, mostly because it's just a lot of area you can abuse it, especially outside the natural.
It's no merry-go-round.
No, definitely not. Actually, merry-go-round's merry-go-round with those air blockers, I thought was gonna be such a big. Like, you remember the first week we cast it? Like, when we saw Impact's Overlord, like, run into the wall, we're like, wow, this is gonna screw so many people over. But then everyone just kind of, like, adjusted to it. It's not as big of a deal anymore.
Really? I still see people getting screwed over by it, like, on streams and stuff. Like, they'll fly their medevac back there, and they'll be like, oh no, oh no!
I haven't seen it in any tournament play yet, but yeah, I guess, like, player streams and stuff is a little bit different.
It's it can be really funny because they obviously know it's there. They just like they haven't memorized exactly where it cuts off or whatever when they're on the base.
Well, it's habit as well, right? Like, if you're gonna drop something as a Terran player or put an Overlord, like, you're rallying it around the map to the corners, not really to the mid-left 2/3 of the map.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Targa did choose to go for a gas opener, so he's gonna have speed at all, not just faster than Armani, but Armani very much might just not get it. He's going for gases just now, and
he's been opening gasless for a lot of the series, but
yeah.
This is really important. He took the second Spine Crawler, and that's because he saw Targa stayed on gas. He knows that the speed was coming up soon, and he's playing to the fact that this player has been very aggressive to him in 5 or 4 games leading up to this one. So whereas a lot of people might see the Spine Crawler as a waste, and he may still cancel it, I like the fact that he actually went for it, though.
Well, this is a much harder wall off than some other maps, so you can do a kind of diagonal wall off and then plug up the hole behind the gas geyser and be okay, but it's still it's not clean, and it certainly doesn't allow you to have a backup wall if he's really going for a very big all-in.
Well, the weapon upgrade actually in the favor of Targa for once. Every time this has been going on through the series, it's always been Armani who gets those upgrades first. 3-lings will get to the main. Might pick off a drone. Nope. Wanted to, though.
It's a really good scouting information, though. I mean, pretty much they're both exactly the same, except Targa actually threw down his Evo Chamber a lot sooner and will have +1
Well,
a lot
plus
sooner as well.
plus a third base.
Yes, plus his third base, which was scouted by Armani, and I'm sure Armani will throw down his just in a moment or two.
Picking up the Overlord's always really nice. It's such an expensive unit to have to replace, not just through the larva cost, but through actual minerals as well. But
Armani?
Constitution. Okay, so we're gonna have speed. We're gonna have +1 weapons for Targa. But the problem is, again, in the early game, when you do this, you're gonna have less roaches as a consequence. And with 2 spine crawlers to help hold, like this isn't 1 awkward spine crawler. This is 2 spine crawlers, and against what is gonna be like maybe 8 or 10 roaches, these can definitely tip the battle in your favor single-handedly.
Yeah. I mean, Armani did go for those double Evo Chambers, so, you know, having that defensive setup, you know, really allowing him to propel him forward to that 2-2 to survive that initial attack is going to be pretty great for him, you know, as long as he can survive the attack. Of course, Targa can still try and attack anywhere else besides where the spine crawlers are, as there's still an opportunity there.
There's a lot of scouting going on for both players right now. Keeping an eye exactly what's going on, knowing when your opponent's going to hit. Still got some overseers floating around the map. In fact, we have a lot of overseers that have been made this game. Normally it's like 1 that sticks with the army, but this has been quite relentless. Lots of overlords also coming out of Armani. This is not bad because there's no Mutalisks, but if Hydralisks come into play, this is so much free food.
Yeah, they should be, that's just right now, I think, a rally. Just, you know, habit rally, so hopefully I'll spread them out. You know, to cover areas where the Hydralisks are obviously not going to go, like, the most obvious path. I don't know.
Well, this third base being up so much earlier is really giving Targa a nice little economic kickstarter here. We do have Armani finally saturating his, transferring the drones over, but this Overseer saw this come up like a while ago. So this isn't like something that just now came up.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, he saw it with an Overlord that died, so he knew that his third was behind for sure, but I mean, he's trying to think of what advantage he does have, and so far his advantages are the upgrades right now. Baneling Nest? That's weird.
This is so weird. This is such a role reversal of the first 2 games we had. Because
Targa getting Baneling Nests.
Right, okay, so this is going to be really cool. The Banelings we've seen explode in the roaches, it's happened twice so far in the series, and it's been pretty advantageous both times. The problem is that when Banelings are colliding with other Banelings, then it comes down to who dedicated more, because you're not going to be having that precise, like, 1 trade for 2, 2 trades for 3, like you would in ZVZ, with, like, a lot of little lings running around. No, you're just going to be trying to brute force with the roaches, and you won't be microing those the Banelings.
Yeah, that would be fun to see.
Contaminate is kind of cool. For those who don't know, this stops larva production while this is running.
Yeah.
I like what Targa's trying to do, though. Like, I mean, it's weird to see him, quote-unquote, ahead in this regard, but at the same time, he's not going to be able to move out anytime soon. And the centrifugal hooks upgrade for the Banelings will be a lot better later on than they will be now. Again, like, it's always going to help a little bit with the roaches, but my favorite thing to see is, you know, Hydralisks come in later. You make 14 Banelings, goodbye Hydralisks.
Yeah. That's what I'm used to seeing it for, but I mean, Targa's getting centrifugal hooks. He's really either really hoping to get a lot of Banelings and like just bust through Armani's roaches, or he's hoping that Armani's trying to get faster Hydralisk.
The exception, of course, being TLO, who can apparently split his Hydralisks like Marines. You remember that game?
Well, I mean, he played random. He played Terran for a long time, and then he chose Zerg for some odd reason. Don't know why.
Okay, well, this is quite interesting. With the centrifugal hooks upgrade being a definitive advantage, that's also a lot of gas that Targa's putting that way. It's weird to consider, but taking this third base, it's not like a take on a gold. He had a small economic lead, and I kind of feel like that centrifugal hooks is where he put that upgrade lead into. I don't know if that'll pan out well or not. But as far as defensively, Targa's got this, man. 58 roaches over 46, home field advantage, big concave already pre-set up, and let's not forget there's a lot of Zerglings and Banelings that actually, you know what would be best set to just run around the map rather than try and fight these roaches. Oh, does he not?
Trying.
Okay, he does have an overseer at home, but it's not where the burrow is.
Yeah, that's funny enough. Armani's been like sending out his queens on like a really extensive mission to kill a bunch of overlords, so that's why the entire right side is even cleaned out for Targa. Like, you won't see what's coming over there unless it's more overlords.
Okay, I like this. He left a couple roaches here because he knew there was going to be some sort of attack later. Spine cars are also coming down because, again, you don't open the door for no reason. And Targa's going to see these roaches coming in, but he doesn't have enough to even DPS them down. The roach regen is so stupid.
Why do they go faster under creep? That just...
Because there's not air resistance, of course. Middle of the map, we got a big fight going off. We do have the Banelings that they self-detonate. That was actually a really cool move to try and catch the roaches they did not have detection for. Trying to predict where they were. He was unfortunately just a little shy of killing them all. Meanwhile, back at the main, looks like he will hold this off. He will fend this off as the Spine-Caller completes. And Targa comes out of this with a pretty nice lead coming up against these roaches.
Yeah, he needs to burrow and move away again. He's remaxing. That's why his supply is still, even, but he has to wait for them to actually pop out. 20 more are on the way. The Spine-Caller is buying an extra bit of time as well.
He can't ignore the Spine. Brute forces his way in here. He could wrap a couple roaches around to the north if there wasn't that pesky macro hatchery blocking it out, but Targa forced to now turn around and disengage. 51 roaches to 47 on the home field advantage. And let's not forget, Armani's got this nice ability where he can heal and Targa can't. So these roaches that are moving out, yeah, they're moving out a little bit quick, sure, but oh man, they heal for so much while burrowed.
There was also a counterattack at the third, or just an attack, I don't know. At the third of Targa that did some damage. I mean, you see the Targa is down to 51 drones compared to the 63 of Armani, and Armani's getting a fourth as well.
That might work out better for him right now, though, because that means more potential roaches, less drones and stuff. We actually have Zerglings being thrown into the mix right now, and whether these are Banelings or not, Zerglings are really good cannon fodder. Like I said, in Roach Wars, there's so much overkill. If you've got like 19 roaches wasting a volley on a Zergling, you've done a bad thing.
Yeah. And last time those Banelings did not work out so well, mostly because they didn't have an Overseer, but actually these are going to work out perfectly well. Armani
oh no, they
really
get stuck behind the roaches
path.
though. They get stuck behind the roaches.
Oh, don't kill the roaches, the Banelings come through.
Okay, now he's starting to get some good connects off. He's getting a lot of that splash damage down, but I almost fear it's after Target's taking too many losses. Main base is going to be held too, by the way, so he left just barely enough roaches. I like that he did this, but still in the front lines, Armani's looking strong. With those drones being dead and the advantage being in the favor of Armani economically, he's got a fourth base running, and he's remaxing a lot faster than Target is.
I feel like that Baneling thing that Target was trying to go for would work out really, really well if, it's like a one-hit punch kind of thing, and that's all you really got, and then you start kind of dipping down as you keep trying to use Banelings. Like the first time, had he gotten those connections, maybe he wins the game. Like he just completely rolls over.
Right? That was the difference of
so
like
good.
4 roaches versus 14 roaches dying.
Yeah, exactly. But then the second time, well, there's like a lot less gas, and he's only on 3 bases, and Armani, had saved a lot of his roaches, so it doesn't seem like something that you it's not like a composition you choose for the long game. It's something that you try and break them with.
Targa doesn't know about the fourth of Armani right now. Kind of sucks. His main's starting to get a bit low on income. Overall, he's trying to get his own fourth up, but he's not going to be able to defend this, I don't think. His roaches are damaged. He doesn't have the tunneling claws. He doesn't have burrow. It's 62 roaches to 48, and there's just nothing to make up that difference.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, you got to consider, like, what does Targa do? He's down in upgrades as well. His level 2 Carapace is so far out. I mean, I hate saying it, but Swarmhost may have not been a bad choice in this scenario, but it does get a nice concave here as he wraps around using the hatchery to block out some of this. Spine-Caller also getting some of the action, but I still think there might just be too many roaches from Armani.
I don't know. This was kind of a odd choice by Armani. Obviously, you have to take this fight, but
oh, those transfuses though.
He's barely winning. I think he's just barely winning. Reinforcements coming in though. No, it's actually not going to be one for Armani, but Armani still took a more even trade than I thought he would. I thought Targa had him, in a position where maybe that's where he starts coming back a little bit, but
that burrow. So. Oh my god, the regen on these is sick. This is like God mode medevac healing. Targa's gonna go across the map though. He kind of, I think he's kind of got to abandon the idea of trying to hold another base though. He's got to recognize he's down in supply, right? Like after a fight like that too, he's gonna come across to find the fourth, and this won't be comfortable because there's a lot of roaches already here.
Oh god, yes. There's so many roaches that I wouldn't be surprised if Targa takes this opportunity to go ahead and tag out.
GG, well played. Good luck versus Pulse.